Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with another card making video. Today this one is for hobby hoppers and it is a Valentine's Day card. It is probably my favorite crafting season. I do love Christmas and Halloween is probably my favorite home decorating season, but I do love making Valentine's Day cards, I think more than anything. So I'm super excited to get started with this one. It is going to be a quick and simple one using some old and new lawn fawn that is available in the Hobby Hoppers online store as I'm making this video. Now my video format is a little bit different now, so I will show you a picture of the card here. I clearly haven't made it yet. I hope it looks good. I'm sure it will by the time we get to the end. And first up, I'm going to get started by showing you just a few things that I plan on using to make this card. So with Valentine's Day, I love everything pink, so I'm going with some picked raspberry Distress Silk Side ink. I have some jelly roll pens. I'm using the size 1 and 08. These are available in the Hobby Hopper store, as well as a whole range of other jelly roll pens. Now I've already used my die, so I've got some bits and pieces floating around. But this is the Lots of Hearts stencil. I'll be using this on my background with my picked raspberry ink. And I've already cut this out of my new Radiant Heart backdrop. I was really torn between what I wanted to get from the latest collection. I do love the hedgehogs, but they're not calling to me yet. I've got the little add-on set, but not the full one. Sometimes I just don't get those sets until I feel like I really have something that'll be perfect to use them for. But this, I think this is very versatile. I can use this throughout the year in a range of different colors. It doesn't have to just be for Valentine's Day. So today I've cut that with some pale pink cardstock, and I've also used one of my favorite dies, my large stitch rectangle die, to cut some craft cardstock in a plain rectangle, and that will be behind it, and that's what we will see through all those gaps. The stamp set I'm using today is the Cerealsly Awesome. This mini stamp set, it is from either last year, I think it was maybe actually the year before, but I thought it's super cute and simple, and it might be a little bit fun to play around with our busy backdrop over here. I've also got my alphabet dies because I think I might do one of those sentiments where I pick one word from my sentiment and enlarge it with my dies. So let's get started. Okay, so I've already changed my mind about something, and because I'm recording this way, you get my whole entire chaotic thought process. So I did cut out the letters for Cerealsly, and as you can see, they are quite big, and as I was setting them out, it was just looking like too big. And yeah, just taking up way too much space. It will take away from the little cereal bowls. Like as you can see, it's just going to be far too big. It'd have to come up like this high on either side, and it's just not looking how I was hoping it would look. So we're changing our mind and we're going with embossing the sentiment, and you know how much I love embossing, so I'll whine about that when we get to that step. But I think I will just go with this simple sentiment here. It will work just fine. So what I'm going to do next is ink up my background, and then we'll let that dry while we stamp and color in. Okay, there we go. That actually looks really cute. I did wonder how it would look using a stencil on what is already quite a busy background, but I feel like that is very, very cute. So I'm going to put these little faces kind of like close to each other so that these bowls look like they're leaning into each other. But as you can see, they just keep sticking to my fingers and it's driving me bananas. See if I can get it to work. Please just stay. Okay. Maybe that'll... I'm just going to hope for the best. Okay, so for my colors today, I just have a bunch of browns, a couple of pinks and reds, and some grays for the bowls. And I'm just going to, I guess, wing it and see what looks good with these little characters. But first, I think I'm going to go get my glasses so that I don't mess this up. And while I'm here colouring in, now is the best time to talk about Hobby Hoppers. So for those of you who don't know what Hobby Hoppers is, it is a small online Aussie business run by Trish, the owner, who, just like me, is obsessed with all things crafty, all things cute, and I am on the creative team. So what I get to do is show off the fun products in the store. My favourite is always Lawn Fawn. I can't help but gravitate towards these cute stamps and dies every month when I make my projects. There is another magic maker as well on the creative team. I will link all of things below so that you can see not just the Lawn Fawn stuff that Trish stocks, but all the other fun things in the shop as well. Trish has a ridiculously amazing collection of washi tapes, as well as the jelly roll pens that I use in all my videos, and the watercolor pigments that you will find that I use in most of my videos as well. Trish also stocks tons of card making supplies. So card bases and foam tapes and pretty much everything you need to get a card done from start to finish. Hobby Hoppers is also my favorite store for getting the new release items. If you would like to have a look at any of the products Hobby Hoppers stocks and anything that I'm using in today's video, I will be sure to leave all the links in the description box below. Okay, so my little characters are colored in. I'm going to add some white highlights and add some white highlights to my background as well. And then I'm going to get started on that sentiment. So with this background, I'm just going to go around and add a few little white details to some of the hearts just to make them pop a little bit more. There we go. I think that background looks super cute. Okay, so we're up to my least favorite stage of any card. I have nothing against embossing. It is just, to me, it's one of those tedious processes where I'm so close to the end of my card and you can see the end in sight. You've got 2 things left to stick on and then you got to go start this whole other process. So that's my only beef with it. It actually looks amazing and I never regret doing it once it's done. What I will regret though is not getting out my powder before I stamp that ink. Okay, so I have everything ready now and I'm going to use my slow drying clear embossing ink. Usually I try not to stamp more than once just because I worry I will, knock it and then my embossing won't turn out so neat. But I think we did pretty good that time. I'm glad I remembered my embossing powder because it is just rainy and gross here in Queensland at the moment. Everything is humid. Even then, some did stick a little bit, but it could be far worse. Okay, I'm gonna heat these up before I knock any more powder off. All I'm going to do to cut these out today is simply trim them. I'll get a smaller pair of scissors than that. Got out the biggest ones and I'm just gonna trim them down fairly close to the sentiment. Now I can't cut in a straight line to save myself, so if it's wonky, we're just going to pretend it's not. So there we have our cute little sentiments. Now time to assemble our card front. Okay, so first up with this background, I'm going to make sure that I have some double-sided tape on the back of this craft card stock so that it is ready to add to my card base once the front is done. This just saves me putting it on at the end and pushing down on it and potentially damaging any of the 3-dimensional pieces that I will have on the front. That, and truthfully, I think it looks better in videos if I have this bit done first so that I don't have to do this after playing with all of the cute things on the front of the card. I've got some skinny foam tape on the back of this piece of cardstock. I really should have looked at how other people were adding dimension to this. I wouldn't be surprised if it was something similar. It was an easy way to do it. It wasn't too fiddly, and I was lucky I had some of these really thin foam strips on hand to get this part done. What I love about Lawn Fawn, and I know I mention this a lot, is that their dies are always made to fit each other. So that large stitched rectangle background just always fits perfectly with any other background dies that they bring out. It just makes your collection more usable, which I think is really good because, you know, crafting supplies aren't cheap, and if you can get many uses out of one thing, I think that's always a really good thing. I'm loving this background. I think it is very cute. I'm surprised I didn't add any sparkle to it, but I feel like it doesn't need it. It is looking pretty cute like that. So next I'm going to add my little cereal bowls. Somewhere there looks good. I think maybe about there. And we'll grab our other little one, add him in and see if we like it. Already, I don't like it. I think that looks pretty cute, so I'm going to push them down into place. Now, what I didn't account for earlier was that I would have the background raised, and so they've already got foam squares on it, so it does just add a little bit of, I guess, funny shape to it. Can you see that properly? It kind of just sticks down a little strange, but I don't think in the long run it's going to make any problems or any difference. Now, of course, I'm going to add my sentiment down the bottom, but I have also added some foam strips on the back. I don't think I'll do anything funny and go off center. I think I'll just stick it straight there. That is looking very cute. I think I might just add a couple of little hearts from this set and then we'll be done. Now, at first I cut some little hearts out of white cardstock, but I decided instead to go with some black. I think it looks good. I'd love your opinion in the comments below. I think it looks okay. Now I did do, and here we go, another one. It was blending in with my mat, and I've got my glasses on, so I had no excuse. I think that looks pretty good. Now last is to add this to a card base. Make sure my card is the right way up. And then I'm going to line these up. And there we have it. This card is complete. I will leave you with some photos of the finished card, and if you enjoyed this project, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. All the links to the Hobby Hoppers products and the Hobby Hoppers shop will be in the description box below. I hope you'll check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.